Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. This is your boy Anime Mega Reviews, and today we're going to get right into some reveals that we saw from last week's chapter, Black Clover chapter 273. And no, it's not going to be about Asa's Devil Union mode, although that is pretty important. I may do a video talking about that as well, but we just have to talk about it. Dante, he's in the healing pod. Then all of a sudden we see Lotus, which if you remember Lotus, he's actually from the Diamond Kingdom. And I was really surprised when I saw it. It's like, what is he doing here? But we saw Morris. So if you guys don't know who Morris is actually the scholarly witch doctor, not necessarily the witch doctor, but the mad scientist from the Diamond Kingdom who was apparently controlling everything from behind the scenes. And so I'm not exactly sure if Morris is actually strong in terms of, his power level as a mage, but the one thing that makes him stick out above the rest is just his intellect. He may not even necessarily need to have a grimoire. Who knows? He may have an issue with mana. He may not actually possess mana. Who knows? Maybe his experiments went wrong, and that is the reason why he currently doesn't have a grimoire at the moment. However, Morris is a very intelligent person, and it really doesn't surprise me that he is with the Spade Kingdom. But in this video, I'm going to be getting to the reasons why he actually may be useful to the Spade Kingdom and their plans with Dante, because it does seem pretty interesting. But to go back, how did Morris actually get into the Spade Kingdom? Well, if you guys go back a few chapters in the Black Clover manga series, and I believe the timeline that best fits would be, of course, after the Witch's Forest arc, with Mars, Ladros, and Fauna going back to the Diamond Kingdom. Mars had enough strength and the leadership skills to oust Morris, and that is when Morris and the rest of his cronies had to go to the Spade Kingdom to find some sort of safety. Now, I believe that this happened, of course, way before Zenon actually invaded the Diamond Kingdom and killed a lot of the Shining Generals, because obviously, he had some inside plans. He knew where stuff was. And most likely, I believe that either Lotus or Morris was the one to give him the plans to, I guess, decipher where the Shining Generals would be. Although, does Zenon really need that? Because Zenon is pretty powerful. I don't think that he needs any plans to take down the Shining Generals. However, if you guys notice in the panel with Morris, when we saw, I believe it was in Black Clover chapter 273, if you look in the back, I believe it's like, I think maybe the third panel, we see at least two Shining Generals in the back, and they have always been covered. Even in the earlier chapters of the Black Clover series, we never see these two generals, so obviously they are with Morris as well. And I do wonder about their power level. Maybe Yuki Tabata could have them be insanely powerful, not necessarily as powerful as Zenon, but maybe comparable to some of the Clover Kingdom captains as well. Now, getting into the specifics about Morris and what he's done in the Diamond Kingdom, he was actually able to form two grimoires together by stitching them together, and I think that would be considered an abomination according to the Black Clover rules of natural law. I would think probably the Heart Kingdom would consider him like a seriously horrible mad scientist. Like, this dude is pretty sick. Also, he experimented on children psychologically and physically. He is a sick puppy. He also experimented on Fauna, thought that she was dead, but apparently she wasn't. He also was able to mess with her mind with the magic stone. And also, I believe that after I read on Wikipedia, it said that some of these magic stones affect these mages psychologically and make them easier to control. And I think that this kind of would be the case when we look at Mars, whereby Mars, after that stone was removed from his forehead, he could think a little better. So obviously that had something to do with it. But now that we've touched on the history of Morris and his usefulness as far as what he did in the Diamond Kingdom, let's get into why he is being used in the Spade Kingdom currently right now. Well, for one thing, because of this idiot right here, Dante Zagratis, who actually got himself sliced in half by a 16-year-old Asta and Yami. So he needs some healing. That anti-magic is pretty powerful. Obviously, Zenon had knew that this was something that was abnormal. Even as soon as Zenon arrived on the battlefield, he knew that something was off, because obviously he has never seen Dante out like this. And on top of that, he knows that Dante possesses some type of healing magic, as far as not just the devil mana, but also the fact that he has body magic. Obviously, by him taking Dante to Morris will be very experienced in terms of the human body. He has been experimenting on the Shining Generals for who knows how long. This shouldn't be something too hard for Morris. However, something interesting that we really have to look at is that Morris had said that he's going to make Dante stronger than he originally was, which tells us something that's very key here, because Morris plans maybe to have a tactic that may work against anti-magic. Who knows? And another reason why he may be useful to the Spade Kingdom is something that I really didn't see a lot of people necessarily thinking about, or maybe saying on Reddit or even other YouTubers that go over Black Clover. And that's the fact that he could help in opening up the demonic portal and experimenting on this demon in the ice. Now, we still don't know necessarily what it is. However, Morris is a very smart person. And if he has everything at his disposal to learn about demons, to learn about the underworld, because most likely maybe he didn't know anything about it before he got to the Spade Kingdom. However, give a smart guy like this time for him to just read and look up different stuff about opening portals and all these different demons. I can only imagine what he's going to do to bolster the strength of Dante, because that's the one thing where we really have to think about. Like, his tactics to boost the strength of the Diamond Kingdom generals is something to look into, is something to kind of nod your head at, but it's not something that's huge. Maybe Morris could find a way to have Dante form another contract with another demon that's going to make him even stronger, possibly going to find a way to counteract the anti-magic or heal his wounds a little bit better. I don't think that we're going to see the same Dante that doesn't have any type of skill in terms of using his gravity magic or even his flesh magic. Maybe Morris is able to change his flesh magic to bone magic or blood magic or even both. This dude is incredibly smart, and it's just scary to see that this guy is on the side of the Spade Kingdom. Now, he could be using his intellect for good, but obviously he doesn't do that. This dude is on a whole nother level of bad. Now, as far as the future of Morris in this arc, what could I pretty much envision or imagine him as far as a character in the Spade Kingdom and what he means to the Dark Triad? Now, one possible theory that I do have is that he's going to help Xenon somehow stab Dante in the back. Now, why would Xenon do this? Well, because not only is he possessed by a demon, he is also incredibly evil. You guys have heard the biblical story of Cain and Abel. This could also be some type of symbolic thing with Dante and Xenon as well. I believe that Xenon has it in him to betray Dante. And this is not something that's impossible to think of. I have a feeling that they'll betray Vonica in a heartbeat if they could. Yes, they are a brother and sister, but yeah, they're on a whole different level of evil in the Spade Kingdom. I don't think that they really care about allegiances like that. I think they just care about power. It's obvious that Vonica, she kind of wants to open up the portal just so she can experience some violence and mayhem. Dante, we know his goal. Xenon, he's keeping his goal kind of close to his chest. We kind of just don't know. And on top of that, we don't know his demon's name. So I have a feeling that our boy Xenon has something underneath his sleeve, and we're really going to see it towards the end of the arc. But anyway, that does it for me today, folks. I will be releasing the Black Clover spoiler video tonight, but I also will be releasing a prediction video most likely after this one. But I hope you enjoyed. Make sure you smash the subscribe button, also click the like button as well, and also comment down below and tell me what you guys thought about this video. And as always, make sure you guys stay safe out there, and peace.